Number 5. Yeah.
Number 5. Now we're getting into the old school stuff, but like I said, bringing it forward. I'm gonna go with Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 is number 5. Okay. And then 1 to 5. How much do you know about it?
Spider-Man 3. I know it's basically a live version of. It seems like it's gonna be the live version of Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
I know that for sure. So I would say like I know about 4. Also, I'm hoping it's a fallout of what happened at the end of Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have an actual name for it yet?
No.
It's gonna have home in it though, right?
Probably. Yeah, Homecoming,
I think that's
Far From Home. Yeah.
Yeah, and also it's a senior year or something like that. So think so. Anyways. So honestly, the reason why Spider-Man 3 is there is again the other 4. I guess you could say I'm a little bit more invested in them. And then also, I have said this before. I like Tom Holland. He's a great character. He's cool, but he's not my favorite Spider-Man.
So the prospect of having Garfield, Maguire, those guys back, that doesn't.
I feel like this is like higher? You trying to convince me to do. I feel like you're trying to convince me to.
No, I don't want you to change it because then that's going to mess up the rest of the order. I just want to say, I mean, with that in mind.
But my question is it going to be like where they're actually going to be? Is it going to be like the Clone Wars back in the day? Like I don't know if you ever saw the Spider-Man animated series where he fights a big ass battle with all the different Spider-Mans, or is it going to be like the Flash Ezra Miller play in one of the Flashpoint episodes of the Flash? In the 5 seconds and that's it.
Yeah, the Crisis on Infinite Earths, the CW thing.
Cameos are cool and everything, but I'm not gonna anticipate a movie specifically for a cameo.
Yeah, I like the Ezra Miller cameo just because it was a funny little thing, but I don't think that's what they're doing here. I don't think they're going through all this trouble to get Garfield to sign on and Tobey Maguire to sign on just to have them pop up like, hey, remember me? No, I think they're gonna have significant parts in the movie. That being said, I actually am a little more. I am anticipating that one a lot more, just because of how it ties into the rest of the MCU. I think it's gonna tie in like in a big way, which actually reminds me of a movie that we don't have on the list, but that's probably because it's not coming out till 2022. So maybe that's why. But Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I don't have that on the list that I gave you.
Yeah, and I think I was wondering if I'm assuming a lot of these movies are going to probably tie into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I thought Spider-Man was supposed to come out after all of that, but anyway, it's not on the list, so we won't talk about it. Honorable mention, Doctor Strange. All right, number 4.
Shit, now I think about it, I probably should have made this one my number 5 and Spider-Man 3 my number 4. But too far in. Hawkeye.
Okay.
Yeah, Hawkeye.
Jeremy Renner, Haley Stanfield. So scale of 1 to 5, how much do you know about Hawkeye?
I'm assuming I'm gonna go with a 2 because I know Hawkeye's in it.
Okay. Jeremy Renner is in it. Okay.
And I know that Haley, what's her name? Haley what?
Haley Stanfield?
Steinfeld, is that her name?
Stanfield, right? That's
I thought it was Steinfeld. I would think Stein, like R.L. Stein.
Like Seinfeld, but with a T.
Right. Yeah. Well, anyways, I actually am a huge fan of hers. I'm a huge fan of her as an actress. I think she's like really cool. Seen her kind of grow up because remember she went from Ender's Game to
Steinfeld, yes, but yeah,
she went from Ender's Game to all these other different movies. I really liked her in Edge of 17. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but I really enjoyed that movie, especially with her and Woody Harrelson. But
I like her in Pitch Perfect 2. Pitch Perfect 2.
She was in Pitch Perfect 2. She's the one that did original songs.
Yeah. She's cool.
And what was it called? Was the guy from the Green Bay Pack? Jake Matthews? No, not Jake Matthews. Clay Matthews got upset at her for doing her own original. So, yeah, I'm gonna say Hawkeye that one. My thing is though, I'm feeling that this is a passing of the torch, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where, and then I also want to know how much of this is going to be, because Haley Steinfeld is she is a big enough actress to carry her own movie.
Yeah, so I think you're right in it being more of a passing of the torch sort of deal. I think it's like leading to more of a young Avengers type of
That's what I'm getting
situation.
to.
So, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I also wonder which ones of these is going to start teasing in the Fantastic Four and
There's
X-Men.
so much content in the MCU. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind if they didn't bring in the Fantastic Four, but I think it's already been said that they would.
And a sidebar that I think is great about the fact that it's actually a good thing that X-Men and Fantastic Four were owned by
Fox.
Fox for so long when they started this off, because that probably would have been an oversaturation.
Yes.
Because if they had owned X-Men and Fantastic Four, they would have been in Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're like, is that too many people?
Well, I would say that had they owned those guys, like the Fox properties, like back when all this started, like '08, I would say that Iron Man and them would actually be in the back burner. I'd say they wouldn't focus on those guys because
They wouldn't.
they would be like, hey, let's just focus on the ones that people know. And you know Hollywood, right? It's like, what's the quickest way to make money? Well, people know Wolverine, people know this, yeah.
Exactly.
So they would have forgotten those guys. Okay, so that was your number 4, Hawkeye?
Yeah, and number 3 is coming out very, very soon. WandaVision.
Oh, coming out in a few hours, actually.
Yes. And the reason why this one is a number 4 only because this is the only one that I've seen a preview with, aside from the next movie coming out. This is the only one I've seen a preview for, and I saw the preview. A lot of people were hate on it because they're like, oh, now they're trying to get into comedy. I was like, well, first of all, Kevin Feige has liked comedy being in the MCU since the get-go. It being funny, even though I think they kind of did too much comedy on Thor Ragnarok, but
Wait, what? Sorry, anticipation. Not anticipation. Sorry, how much knowledge? 1 to 5.
I already said it. I said a 4.
You said a 4. Okay, sorry, missed it.
Yeah, 4. Oh, anticipation or knowledge?
No, knowledge.
Knowledge is a 4. Anticipation, I'm gonna go with a 5 now because it's about to come out.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, they've always had comedy in it. So, and then I like that they're bringing Vision back because even though he wasn't that huge of a character in that final battle, you kind of felt like not that he was missing, but it's kind of like it would have been cool to see him in that final battle. You know what I mean? Yeah, just because of even though he's probably even though half of the characters are really so powerful that they don't even need help.
I mean, he's not that big a character, but he has been there since the very beginning. As
at least
Jarvis.
from Age of Ultron, yeah.
No, as Jarvis.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. You're right. And again, full circle, right? They're bringing it full circle. They're bringing back. I mean, Jarvis is from the very first MCU.
From the very beginning, yeah.
So that's actually a good mention. That actually is a good callback, to that. So that's my number 3. The number 2, which I think is going to be the superhero versions of 2 angry men, which is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay. How much do you know about that? 1 to 5.
1 to 5 on how much I know about it. Honestly, I could tell you it's probably a 1 or a 2 that I don't know what they're planning on doing with, but I know it's those 2 characters, which to me is just enough.
It's you say grumpy old man, I say Lethal Weapon.
Okay.
Yeah.
The show or the movie?
The movie, not the show.
Even though I think with the show, even though for something happened there, the chemistry in the show was actually really freaking good.
Yeah.
And we already know the chemistry between these 2 guys is great too. It's hilarious. So yeah, but I like 2 Angry Old Men just because it's just, to me, that's a funnier comparison than Lethal Weapon is actually a really good comparison.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So that's your number 2. I actually like the idea of Falcon and Winter Soldier, just getting that banter back. And I know Anthony Mackie can be like really funny, really good. And people really love Bucky. Yeah, so it'll be good to get them
Look,
leading
man, look, no matter
the
what,
helm.
no matter how old we get, there are always going to be people, women in particular, who love emo guys.
Yeah.
And Bucky is the most emo looking dude in this entire universe. He reminds me of the lead singers of like not my My Chemical Romance, Jared Way, just because of the dark hair and the pale skin.
Yeah, but he's kind of cleaned that up. Now he looks like a normal.
Clean that up, and then I like to see how they're going to explore the Falcon being taking over Captain America's mantle. I'm assuming that's going to take over a lot of the show about him not feeling like he's able to have the responsibility. Pretty sure Bucky's going to be over there telling him, "No, you can do it, man." You know.
I don't know. From the trailers, I haven't seen any of that, right? Because
then never mind.
like I expected that too, based off of how Endgame ended. Where he wasn't sure about having the mantle, but from the trailers, Falcon seems very confident. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be really good.
Then if you think about it, he's always been cocky. Remember, Ant-Man whooped his ass, but then he told them that don't ever think you're gonna do that again. That was just good luck.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. So that's your number 2.
Real quickly, before we go to number 1, we already know what your number 1 is. How much pull does Kevin Feige have to tell all these actors, like, yo, you're going to come and do this show?
Oh, no. I mean, Kevin Feige is easily the most powerful man in Hollywood. Maybe not like, I mean, he doesn't write the checks and all that stuff, but I think Disney knows that this guy is almost consistent money maker. You even have other divisions of Disney, faltering here and there. We know what happened with the Star Wars trilogy that just ended. The Disney live action movies haven't been all that great. I mean, some of them have been good, but they haven't been like consistently great. The one that's been consistently great is the MCU division.
Yeah, and then not only that, but they saw the difference between. Remember when him and Jeff Loeb is it Loeb or Loeb?
Loeb, yeah.
Loeb were having that kind of power struggle, and you could see they saw that the work was struggling because Avengers: Age of Ultron and Iron Man 3 didn't exactly, for them, perform the way they wanted to, because it just didn't seem like they had a clear direction. Then once they removed him, all of a sudden, this thing blew up. He did his job. He did what he did. And then they also saw they're like, man, the TV shows aren't. We need to bring the TV shows back in, right? Because they're like, that was the one thing that's one of the biggest, the thing that I'm really enjoying. And then I'm actually, now that I think about it, is it Spider-Man 3, or do you know which product is going to have the? Yeah, Spider-Man 3 is supposedly bringing Charlie Cox, who played Daredevil in the Netflix show, because I'm assuming it's going to be an alternate universe, alternate timeline or whatever that he. I think he represents. Who's he representing?
Probably Spider-Man.
Is it Spider-Man? Yeah, he's
Spider-Man, because if you remember at the end of Far From Home, he was revealed to be Spider-Man, and they made it seem like he killed Mysterio, like in cold blood.
That's true. And then also, and I'm also wondering, this one wasn't on here because it's not coming out yet, but She-Hulk. Okay. And I wouldn't be, because remember, She-Hulk is the cousin of Bruce Banner, but she's also a lawyer. And I think in the comics, there's been occasions where they both either were on the same side of a trial or on the opposite sides of a trial. So I'm glad that they're going to basically, Kevin Feige's going to rein this in and probably bring in some of these Netflix shows. I really hope these Netflix shows go to Hulu, specifically Punisher, but that's a
go to Hulu as in for further seasons, or just to like have those.
No, further seasons.
I don't know about that, but I don't know if they're doing further seasons of those ones. I do like the fact that they're bringing Charlie Cox into it, but I think basically they didn't want to be held down to the TV series like in the past, just because one, they were on so many different platforms, and you'd have to, like, if you were to follow, hey, this happened in Daredevil and Punisher, therefore it has to reflect in the movies, then you're expecting your fans to own Netflix to be able to get it. But now it's one of these situations where it's like, hey, this is the Disney ecosystem, right? If you're going to see these MCU things.
Don't be shocked if, first of all, the CEO of Hulu or the president of Hulu said he's like we can definitely explore the possibility of doing new episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also, I wouldn't be shocked if Netflix is willing to license out them out. Because remember, one thing is Netflix doesn't own the show.
Right.
They just license it out, so they probably wouldn't be opposed to giving,
and
for
Hulu is part of the Disney bundle, so the Disney Plus bundle, so that makes sense. All right, drum roll.
Number 1, Black Widow. Of course, we've been anticipating this movie for how many only a year, I know, but honestly, going back to the whole, I love that they're doing the callback to the older heroes to make way for the newer heroes, because Black Widow is supposed to introduce one of her cousins, which I think her
sister.
I'm sorry. So I think there's kind of the idea of like her carrying on and still being in the MCU, probably leading to the Young Avengers and all that stuff. So it's kind of good. And then also, because of the ending of the Black Widow in Infinity and Endgame, it would always make sense that you kind of felt like she had an unfinished story. That is one thing that I think Kevin Feige said that he does regret, that even Kevin Feige or probably the Russo brothers, that they said, yeah, they felt kind of, after a while, they kind of had like, I guess, buyer's remorse about her not being in that final battle. I would say definitely her not being in that final battle. You could tell that that's a big,
yeah, I'm actually okay with how things happened. I would have hated it if Hawkeye was the one to die there, just because Hawkeye lost so much. And then to not even have him be there for his family to come back, I would have thought, no, that
makes sense.
Overkill.
Even though I'm kind of like, they're fighting super aliens. In the real world, they probably would have died in the first battle.
What do you mean, Hawkeye and Black Widow?
Well, yeah, because they're just human.
Well, Hawkeye wasn't there.
No, Hawkeye wasn't there, but I'm saying if this were to be the real world, like let's just say this is the real world, half of these humans would not live after these aliens decide to attack.
Perhaps, but Tony's also just a human. He just has high tech. In fact, the only one that is not a human, well, 2 of them would be Thor, and then Hulk, because he's gamma radiated. But the rest of them are just humans with tech.
And then actually, if you think about it, in real life, the Hulk probably would kill every single person that he's ever around because he's radiating gamma rays. But
well, he would be dead himself.
No, because he's a superhero and gamma rays is his superpower. Anyways,
okay.
But yeah, that's my list. If you guys love one, please let us know.
Yeah, let us know your top 10 as well. And thanks to Beyond the Trailer for giving us the idea for this top 10.
Awesome.